It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a tough match. Obviously, Spirits, a very good team, very quality, have a lot of threats. So we're up for the challenge. We're excited.
Great. Go ahead, Austin.
Obviously, a lot of implications with this game on Sunday. A chance to clinch the Shield. How's the team kind of just mentally preparing for a game where it has that many implications?
Yeah, it's obviously an amazing opportunity and something we would love to do. Win the Shield, especially in front of our fans. They absolutely deserve it. But at the same time, I think the approach we're taking is just, another game. And that's what we've been doing all season, just taking one game at a time. So we're going to do the same this time.
Just with, these are the top two teams that are going to be playing. Do you feel like this is kind of the biggest test for this team as you start to get ready for playoffs?
Absolutely. I mean, 1 versus 2. It doesn't get much better than that. And like you said, there's a lot of implications. They're fighting for the Shield as well. They have a lot to play for. So it's going to be a battle, and we're really excited for it.
Over the last 4 games or so, you've been getting a lot of teams that have been, pushing you to the limit. Obviously, in Bay, you came down to the end. How have you kind of found just over the last, couple games the intensity from other teams that kind of stepped up to try and be the one to take down the top?
Yeah, we know we have a big target on our back. That's no surprise at all. Everybody's going to play their best game against us. Everybody has that extra motivation against us. So we just have to keep raising our level.
Defensively for you guys, I mean, it's been, shutout after shutout, except for this past game. You set a record for most minutes of shutouts. I mean, just how can you put into words just how this defense has played throughout this season, of just the cohesiveness with the back line, the midfield, and everyone kind of playing a part in that role?
I mean, I think you could see our reaction when we did get scored on against Houston. Like, we were so upset. I think that kind of summarizes why we are the way we are. We were still winning the game at that point, thanks to Ange's goal. But, we were still, it hurts to get scored on. And we weren't thinking about, now our records, we lost our record now. Or, I didn't even know we had that record until afterwards. So I think just from front to back, our defensive organization has been incredible, and it takes the whole team.
Do you feel like just the mentality defensively from this team is what kind of leads from back to front, leading from that defensive effort through the team into those transition moments into the offense, and why this team has been so good in terms of just being able to hold teams, to shutouts, as well as being able to capitalize on those scoring opportunities?
Absolutely. I think it's contagious. I think when M makes a big block or Corey shuts down Chewinga, I think it hypes the whole team up. And, I think we just have so much trust and belief in one another, and we kind of know, we're going to be hard to score on. We know that. So if we can put the ball in the back of the net, we're going to have a really good chance of winning.
How much has Seb kind of played into that? Obviously, from a defensive mindset, that's his bread and butter. How much has he kind of pressed the defensive mentality throughout this season?
Massively. He's obviously a defender himself, so he takes a lot of pride in that. And he's helped us a lot. We do a lot of functional work with our back line, but we love it. He's gotten us to love defending and take pride in defending, and I think he rewards us for it as well. Sometimes, if we score a goal, he makes sure to put in, that tackle, include that tackle in the film that leads up to that goal, or, surround it in context, so we're not forgotten about.
Has he ever given you any flack for, I could have done this better, or anything like that?
I mean, no, he gives us really good advice. He talks about when he played. We love hearing about that, because obviously it's super relevant. I think having a coach that has played and been in similar situations, both dealing with stuff on and off the pitch, is super helpful. So he makes things look a little easier sometimes than it is for us. But
has his, from your transition from left back to center back, how much has his experience just kind of helped you in that, transition from playing out wide to playing more center?
yeah, really good. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I don't think anybody saw this as a permanent solution. Obviously, Rafa's an amazing player, and she's been so unlucky with injuries. which my heart breaks for her. We really miss her out there. But everybody's been super supportive, like Seb and the coaching staff and the players always believed in me and always have been helping me. So yeah, it's been a fun year.
We'll go to Zoom, and Jeff, go ahead.
Thanks, hi Kylie. Jeff Kassouf with ESPN. Just wondering, you just mentioned the record that you weren't aware of, I guess, when that happened, but I'm sure you're aware that you guys haven't lost yet, obviously. How do you kind of manage that? I guess it's an external pressure, but being aware of it, obviously.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy. We've talked about it. Like, is it a good thing to lose? You don't want your first loss to be in playoffs. So we kind of talked about we can win and we can still learn from it. So there's been a few games where we haven't performed our best. For example, the Bay game. Maybe we, you could say maybe we got a little lucky. We got Anna made some really good saves. So we just try and take one game at a time and just learn from the wins.
And the Shield itself, obviously in a league with playoffs, how do you view that? I mean, obviously it's such a long season, and that is the reward for doing it consistently, but then you've got to turn around and, go into a playoffs. I mean, how are you kind of viewing the pursuit of that Shield at least?
I mean, it's exciting. Like, it would be amazing this weekend to, win it in front of our fans. I think they deserve that. It's been a long time coming for them. So that would be amazing. But at the same time, we know, we're still, whatever happens this weekend, we're still in a really good position. And it's in our hands ultimately.
And just one more for me, if I could. I know you've spoken recently about the transformation of the club and being here, through the years, and since then, obviously, the crowd that you all had a week ago, which was, historic for you guys. I mean, as much as you can, kind of unpack years of that in this setting, I guess. Like, what has it meant to be part of that, to come from kind of those lower points to, however this season finishes, obviously quite a remarkable season.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes this season even more special is to kind of know what this club and this organization has been through. It wasn't always easy, but I think, we've got the right people in the right places, and we have something really special here. So it's super exciting now and for the future.
All right, and next up we are joined by head coach Seb Hines. Seb, Washington Spirit coming into Interim Coach Stadium on Sunday. Just give us, what your thoughts are on the match that's going to be coming up.
It's number 1 versus number 2, so we expect a very competitive game. Washington have been in a good reign of form as well as us. So I would expect both teams going out to get a win.
A lot of implications for this game, obviously with the Shield on the line for you guys. How are you kind of approaching it from a coaching standpoint, just making sure that the moment doesn't really get ahead of the game?
Yeah, I mean, you can't play the occasion, you got to play the game, right? And what the players have done so far this year has been terrific. To continue to be unbeaten for this long of a period is incredible, and a massive testament to the players and what they've done this year. And it's one more game, right? You got to get one more win to be called the NWSL Shield winners, and so we've approached it like we have done every other game. We feel Washington are going to come here and try and win also. They wouldn't be in the position they're in if they weren't in that mindset. So yeah, I expect a competitive game, fine margins as well, especially when it's both teams are at the top of the table. And we'll be on our top game with the mindset of the success after it.
With this being number 1 versus number 2, as you start heading into the playoffs in about a month now, do you feel like this is the biggest test for your team so far, and kind of something that you want to see from your team as you head into a postseason now?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good test. I think it's a good experience going into playoff football. Obviously, there's a lot of players here who haven't experienced that, and so you could use that as a training in the postseason, because this is what it's about, right? It's one game. It's you have to win within the time frame, and so yeah, it comes at a good point for us because we might not get that experience leading up into the postseason, so we'll use it for our own experience.
How much do you rely on some of the veteran players who've kind of been there, experienced those moments, especially for such a young team that still, like you said, haven't experienced that kind of pressure in those moments? Just how much do you rely on those veterans to kind of help them through that?
Yeah, I think you can look at it both ways. Of course, there's veteran players who have gone through playoff football before and had different experiences with that, but also there's a fresh mindset. There's an excitement for the young players of not knowing what it feels like and going out there and playing with freedom and playing and expressing themselves. So yeah, it really does depend on the personality and who they are as people, but this team is full of great characters. They're very much together. They're very much wanting to go out there and constantly prove to the world what they can do and what they're capable of doing. And so, yeah, against the number 2 team in Washington with some really high-profile players, it's a great test to all of our players to go out there and perform.
Last time you guys played against them, it was very early on for Barbara Bandox and making her announcement to the league. Very back and forth game. How much do you kind of take away from that game? I know it was a couple months ago, but just in preparation for this one, how can you kind of take some lessons learned from that?
Yeah, it's fine margins, I think. When we look back at the game, obviously going to Washington is always a difficult place to go play. We took the lead. We gifted them some goals as well that gave them hope to get something at the end of it. We had a player sent off also, so I think that game had absolutely everything. But they've added to their roster since that time. They've brought in some good international players. Obviously, their coach is here now, and he's a top coach. He's won every trophy in Europe also, so it's also a great experience for myself to having to match up against a great coach who's been really successful at like a team in Barcelona. So yeah, I think it's exciting for all of us to see how far we've come from that time that we last played them.
We'll go to the Zoom. Go ahead, Jeff.
ESPN. To that point, and you mentioned earlier, kind of maybe there's lessons you can learn going into the playoffs. How much do you feel like a game like this? You're obviously trying to win and all those competitive things, but is there a nature or an element of showing your cards ahead of what you might expect, to see a team again, or showing them to other teams potentially for the playoffs, or do you just approach it, more straight up?
I think in terms of game plan, I think it's just winning what's in front of us. I think you have to be adaptable in today's game. So yeah, we'll just go out there to win what's in front of us right now, and in the postseason, who knows? There's still games to be played during that time. Also, who's available on the team sheet can also make your own decision. So yeah, we're only focused on what's in front of us right now, and that's against Washington on Sunday.
Yeah, and I've heard. I hear that. I've heard you say that. And I know, is there anything you've had to do with the group in terms of, the magnitude of an unbeaten season, a shield on the line, a 1 versus 2? That is a big deal in team history, and a lot happening. As much as you want to focus on that one at a time, have you had to implement a strategy? Have you had to have that conversation at all as a group? Or?
No. We just take it game by game. I know it's really cliche and boring, but it really is. It's a game that they've played all their lives. It's at home as well, so we want to continue to be unbeaten. We want to continue to win games, and whoever it is in front of us, we want to beat them. And it's Washington on Sunday, so yeah, we've just got our minds set on that.
Last for me, maybe just on the game, specifically, 2 high-powered teams in terms of attack. what are you expecting in terms of how it might play out on Sunday? Given all that context.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, that game against Kansas, Kansas came here with the intention to sit back and be hard to beat. We want to apply ourselves in every game to go out there and have the intentions to win. Some games are more difficult than others, but we have to really focus on ourselves. And to predict what Washington are going to do is very difficult. Every team has adapted to us. So we have to problem solve. And so if they come here with the intentions to sit back and look to counter, we have to solve those type of problems. If they want to high press us, then we have to solve those type of problems as well. It's no different to what we've tried to face all season long. And we've done an incredible job in solving those problems, hence our record right now. So, it'll be the same going into the game on Sunday.